Vallee joins us now from Marseille, France. He's a senior fellow at the German Council on Foreign Relations. Thanks for joining us on the program. This deal came after more than 90 hours of intense negotiations over 4 days. What does that tell you about the state of where EU countries stand as far as their differences?
Well, I think that's a testament to the divisions inside the EU, but it also says something probably about the fact that Europe has expanded over the last years, can no longer be directed only by the French and German couple. There used to be a time where a Franco-German agreement could win the day. And now, as we've observed with the summit, a Franco-German agreement is just the beginning of a negotiation and not the end of it. But beyond, the time that it took to get a deal, I think we can celebrate an agreement that is very important and that I think will be tested in time over the next couple of years, because now that there is a high-level agreement, the implementation of this agreement will be critical. And there are a number of moving blocks and small prints that will need to be decided over the coming weeks and months that are critical.
Right. So how important is this agreement then? How critical is it moving forward?
Well, I think it's critical symbolically because it is the first time that European member states agree to mutualize the cost of this crisis. They mutualize a small part of this cost because given the depth of the recession and the increase in debt that is ensuing at the national level, this 150 billion euros is a small drop in the ocean of supports that member states will have to come about. But the symbolic aspect of agreeing to mutualize the cost of a crisis is essential. If you remember, during the global financial crisis and the euro crisis in 2008 and 2012, this agreement to mutualize some of the costs of the crisis had been refused. So there's a clear step in the right direction with this agreement. We can debate whether the amounts are the right one, whether the amounts of grants in particular versus loans are the right ones. I think they're insufficient, but I think symbolically a Rubicon has been crossed with this agreement, and I think it provides a very important stepping stone for further integration and eventually for further mutualization of Europe fiscally.
Yeah, of course, the amount of the relief fund was a big sticking point over this 4-day negotiation. The European Council President, Charles Michel, says the deal is about workers and families, their jobs, their health and well-being. Do you think that this will be enough to help Europeans, or do you think we could see another EU summit, going forward in a year or a couple years?
No, I don't think this is the end. I think it's a first installment. I think everything depends now on the depth of the crisis and on a potential second wave of the epidemic. But for the time being, it's a meaningful contribution. That being said, it is very clear that in the first instance, it is national governments that are going to have to respond to the crisis and to pay for the cost of it. And they're greatly helped in this, not necessarily by this agreement, but by the European Central Bank, which has agreed itself a very large financing program, which is effectively backstopping national finances. So I think we should view the European response not only through the prism of this agreement over the weekend, but also through national fiscal policy and the fact that this national fiscal policy is effectively backstopped by the European Central Bank. I think the combination of that provides a very meaningful economic response.
Okay, and we'll leave it there. Shahin Vallee, thank you.